Hello everyone! Today's vlog is about my 2 years life staying in the dorm. It was challenging and it taught me patience, friendship that I will treasure the rest of my life. I have a lot of friends now that we used to live in the dorm. Staying in the dorm was very economical in our part because the rent was so cheap. The monthly pay was less than $300, and that includes gas and electricity and water. We don't have to pay anything except for our phone bills and food. There was no cell phone that time. Everything was sent through the mail. The communication from US to New York was through mail, and it takes like 3 weeks to receive the mail. We shared the kitchen. We have our own room with a shared bathroom. It was full of Filipino nurses. So we cook our meal and we eat together most of the time in the kitchen, in the dining area. But there was a time that we had a group of nurses where we pulled the money, we put the money together for the week, and whoever was vacant cooks the meal and we just eat the meal together, or we share the meal. But that did not last too long because everybody have their own schedule. Sometimes others are not eating, they eat outside. So we stopped that. But we used to go to Chinatown and buy our own groceries and meat and soft drinks and all that. During the time, if you shop for $20, you can buy a lot. $20, you could hardly carry. But nowadays, at $20 is buy only 1 or 2 items. Everything changed. Everything is so expensive right now. So we stayed in the dorm, and some of them are already married with kids, but the families were left in the Philippines. So I stayed in the dorm for 2 years, and I got married in 1992, and I moved out to my own apartment. It was only $650 per month. So it was very, very cheap in that area. In Riverdale, that's a rich area in the Bronx. The rent there right now is like, one studio is like $2,000. Everything is very, very expensive. I stayed in the dorm for 2 years. I stayed in the apartment for another 10 years, and I bought my house. The greatest regret that I did was the apartments that I was renting, they were for sale. During the time, it was only like $25,000 or $30,000. When I left after 10 years, the apartment was sold for $120,000. So renting, it's okay temporarily, but buying even an apartment, if you cannot afford the house, buy an apartment. But you need to have a good credit and at least a good down payment. So that's one thing I did not do, that I should have bought the apartment instead of renting for 10 years, because houses and apartments goes up every year. In my first several years working as a nurse, I was working in the morning shift because I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn a lot. And you can learn a lot in the morning shift because you can be the medication nurse, you can be the charge nurse, you can be the treatment nurse. And in the morning, there's a lot of action, a lot of things going on. And there's a lot of support system, especially if you're a new nurse. You have a head nurse, you have a supervisor, you have an assistant director of nursing, you have a director of nursing. So there's a lot of support in case you need help. I worked in the morning from 1989 to 1997. I gave birth to my son 1997. And when I was still in maternity, the director of nursing called me if I'm interested with a head nurse position. The head nurse that time was a Filipina, and she resigned. She's going somewhere else. Her husband is also a nurse. And of course, I took the position. So in 1997, I moved to morning shift. I became the head nurse. It's just like a nurse manager. And I was in charge of a 33 unit. So when I became a head nurse, there was a position available. It was an MDS assessor job. And I applied, and one of the supervisor in the evening applied also. But because the supervisor in the evening was making more money, because if you work supervisor in the evening, you have 10% shift differential. And the MDS assessor job that time was still the same as I was making. I wasn't making a lot of money. I think maybe, I don't know, 70,000 a year only. I wasn't sure. I forgot already. So I took the job without thinking about the salary. So I left my nurse manager position and I became an MDS assessor, meaning I assess patients for reimbursement. So that's what I did. And I did that from 2000 to 2003, and the MDS lead person retired. So during the time, I wanted the position. I applied for the position, but it was not offered to me. And they were looking for somebody to replace that position, and they were not able to get one. So the director of nursing supported me, and I think told the boss of the facility that you have to hire Mary Ann or else we will be losing a lot of money because somebody has to be in charge. So in 2003, that's the time I bought my house also, I got the lead position of the MDS, which I did not really ask for a lot of money. So I don't know how much they gave me that time. I think they gave me only $76,000. And after 6 months, they increased my salary because you have to show in numbers that you are doing very, very well in terms of reimbursement, in terms of quality measures. It's kind of complicated, my job. But to make the story short, the CEO increased my salary after 6 months. So I'm going to church now, and I'm going to continue my story in my next vlog. And also, I would like to share, in 2005, I wanted to resign because another facility offered me $112,500 salary, and I'm going to tell you what happened next after that offer. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Bye!